Welcome to the first edition of Knights of the Roundtable. I'm your host, Jerry Middleton, and with me is panelists Rick Fletcher and Mark Kerkhoff. And also joining us tonight is head basketball coach Sara Mayo and head boys basketball coach Brent Ross. Everybody, glad you can make it this morning.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
It's always a good day. Always a good day when you can start talking about basketball again.
That's right. Well, it's Indiana's basketball territory, so here we are. High school basketball is right around the corner.
And as a quick reminder, all of our home basketball games will be on My Team Live this year. And as far as I know, there's no charge to watch it at home.
So
or your grandparents in Florida or Canada or whatever country they may be in.
Well, we want everybody to know, we want you in the gym first, okay? If you can't make it to the game, you can watch on myteamlive.tv, but we'd rather have you in the gym.
And,
so come on down.
And if you go home, you can watch it again on the YouTube.
There's always a replay. You never know what those two guys on that broadcast are going to say, Jerry.
You never know. Well, let's get things started here. Well, we're filming this on a Saturday morning, and so the girls' basketball team is heading down to Batesville for the scrimmage. Yeah, the scrimmage, man. We're ready to start. So let's, Rick, why don't you take Sara here and a few questions, and we'll get going.
Well, first, I'd like to welcome both of you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm glad you guys could make it. Mark, welcome to you also.
Yeah.
Sara, so this is what, your fourth year here? Fourth year at the helm. Steady improvement every year. However, this year could be challenging as far as you got 5 new starters that you're going to have to replace from last year's team.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And that's already been a bit of a challenge in practice. We had 2 of our seniors last year that have played varsity since their freshman year, and then the other 2 have played varsity since their sophomore year, and it's just been a challenge trying to find who's going to be our leader because everybody's kind of new to the varsity aspect of the game.
Yeah, we're not bare. The cupboard's not bare. There is some talent there. We saw some talent from your JV team of last year. So talk about some of the younger kids that we have coming up. I know Addison Mastriano. She's a freshman going into her sophomore year. She wasn't a starter last year, but she played a lot.
Yes, she did. I mean, she's going to be huge for us this year, especially on rebounding. She's ahead, if not taller, than everybody else. She's finally gotten able to lift. She's learned that in varsity games you have to actually leave the floor, and that's something that she was having trouble with last year coming from the junior high team where she could just go and grab.
Right.
So now she's able to jump up and she rips the ball and goes. Maddie Osterman's been doing a really good job too. She's been super aggressive. She's a junior now. Marissa Cates, she's going to be one of our guards this year, and then Ava Mikesel, she's coming up as a freshman, and it's been a whirlwind for her trying to get reused to what we did in summer till season. And then Jill Berger, a senior, she's probably going to be starting for us also, and she's a run and gun defensive hound dog, so we're excited to have all of them.
So a little bit about Jill. I'm going to make a confession to everybody. I have an absolute athletic crush on Jill Berger. She is my absolute most favorite player in the entire universe, okay? So I don't mind admitting that. I'm an old guy, okay, and I'll admit that, but Jill is, if you could have 8 players with the intensity of Jill Berger, you'd take that any time, I'm guessing.
Yes, I would.
So she's going to be a senior this year, so she will be one of your leaders.
Yes.
And, you know, we've seen her grow up in the program. You've had her since her freshman year.
Yep.
So she'll be a senior playing varsity this year. So Ava Mikesel's a freshman.
Yes.
So she's going to be seeing some varsity time. I noticed her in summer ball that she was logging some varsity time.
Yep, and this is her first week back with us. She got to enjoy fall break a little bit with her family.
Okay.
So I think the readjustment in these 5 practices have been a little bit more challenging because she's trying to get reacclimated with the team, what they've already done. We've been doing a lot of review, and I think at times it's a little bit overwhelming for our younger kids. But we are gung-ho into season. We also have Anna Drake back. We're super excited to have her back for her senior season. We haven't seen her since her freshman year, and I am ecstatic to have her back.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the boys basketball here real quick, they're starting practice on the 8th, right?
Next Monday.
Well, I think Mark has a couple questions. We'll sort of going to bounce back and forth here a little bit, let people catch their wind.
People ought to know, we have no format. We do this. We know we're not professionals here, but we're just a couple old guys. Well, I'll say 4 old guys and a young lady, just having a lot of fun. So let's do it.
So Brent, I'll probably start off with kind of the big news. with the Knights program is that we lost 2,000-point scorers. But
2,907 points, but I'm not counting.
no,
Oh, I'm glad you're not counting there.
Just in those two kids.
the cupboard is far from bare.
Right.
So what can you tell us about this year's team?
Well, I mean, we've got 3 seniors that are really, really good. Peyton Lumpkin, who was all conference. Raiden Faust, who's got a shot to be conference player of the year, but because of the change in the participation award that every school gets all conference kid, that he was honorable mention. So he could go from honorable mention to player of the year, which is what his goal is, to prove a point. And then Ben Dyche, who's been a 2-year starter for us at the guard position. Led by those 3 seniors, this may be one of the best defensive teams in my 12 years that we've had. And we've had some really good defensive teams. Now that's yet to be seen, but we're really high on that aspect of it.
Well, we talked earlier, speaking of Peyton Lumpkin, I think Peyton probably has taken, or at least attempted to take, more offensive fouls than any kid in the state. That kid's on the floor more than anybody I know. And he really does a great job at that.
Well, and he's probably, he broke the field goal percentage record for our school. He finishes.
Yeah.
He shoots 69% from the field. So, we want to get him as many opportunities as we can. And he's not a bad outside shooter. He picks and chooses when he takes shots. So he's one of those kids that he won't take a bad shot.
You've got some experience there too, Brent, with those 3 seniors are all 3-year starters for you, or this will be their 3rd-year starter.
Yeah, and and they're going to have to fight for the starting positions because our JV lost 3 games last year. We've got a great group of juniors, and then we got a sophomore in Wes Hunt that's going to challenge for some starting time. And we're 9 deep, and that's where we like to be, the way we play. Because we press and rotate and we keep our kids fresh, So they haven't enjoyed conditioning at all. So.
Well, there's a price to pay for the style of ball that Knights are used to watching.
Exactly.
So, yeah, conditioning, I can imagine, is a huge part of that. And I got to hear some of the stories of the first mile run and some of the guys saying they're going to be ready more for the second time run.
They all beat their time but 2 kids.
Okay.
So out of 19 kids, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And we're still missing the football kids, so they're going to really enjoy that when they come in. So some of them will be here this morning. So.
10 yards at a time to a
Yeah.
mile. Yeah, that's a little bit of adjustment.
Hey, that's only like, 15 times up and down the football field?
Yeah.
Something like that. Hey, it's not that bad.
Well, when your team wants to run, you got to be in condition, right? And
Right.
typically, you like to run.
Yes.
You like your teams to be fast down the floor.
We like to break people about the 3rd quarter,
Yeah.
halfway through that 3rd quarter. We like to go in the locker room, legs tighten up, not really worried about the score at halftime. We're more worried about the pace of play. If we're playing at our pace, the rest will take care of itself.
We talked about, some schedule stuff. The girls get to go to the famed field house in Muncie and play the Bearcats.
That's a 4A school, by the way.
And
That's right.
that will be a great experience because there's not many people going to the Bearcat house and get that opportunity outside of the NCC. So that's a great opportunity. Talk a little bit about that schedule, adding them onto the schedule.
Our first half of our schedule is a little bit challenging. We go to LaPel too, and LaPel is always a tough team. Muncie Central, I'm more excited for the girls just to get to experience that gym. I don't know that any of them in this group of kids have ever been in something like that. And we're usually in our typical sized gym, so I think that's going to be an exciting moment for them to actually get to go and experience that.
By the way, they've redone the field house just a couple of years ago, so it should be brand spanking new when you guys go there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that'll be a challenge for your team. You're a young team. There's no question about that. But you want to have these challenges as you
Well,
go
in
through
the
the
history,
season.
we play Rushville and Connorsville for that exact reason.
Yeah.
And it's tough to go in those 2 places and get wins.
And Rushville's you talk about nostalgic gyms.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
And the
one
funny
of my
thing is
favorites.
I talk to the kids the night before we go on those trips about the history and all that. And it's probably the only time they ever hear it or care, But when they get in there, they notice there's dead spots on the floor. I tell them to go around and dribble, find out, because there is some really, the ball won't come back up where it needs to be. Especially at Rushville, there's a couple bad areas. up by the half court.
And the thing is, the Rushville players know where those are, and they will guide you to that spot. And when that ball doesn't come up, they're like, boom, they're going with it.
But what great field houses. Yeah, that's a great opportunity. You know, I haven't been in it
I
yet.
say I've never coached there, so I'm excited to.
Well,
Yeah, I haven't been in
make sure you, the girls wear about SPF 30 or 35 because it's bright in there. You might get a sunburn.
That's the beauty of Indiana basketball, high school basketball. You get to go into some of these venues. So that'll be a great experience for your team. And hey, hopefully, who knows, you come out with a win. That's what you go in there for. So that'll be good for you guys. Brent, you've had a lot of success here. You've been here quite a while. So what are the all right, not asking for predictions, okay, because we don't want to give any bulletin board material to anybody out there, okay? But what is your prognosis for the coming season?
Well, I think, you know, we talk about opportunities that we have, and, you know, we always tell the kids that, you know, they have an opportunity on what we think that they can reach. And, you know, this team's good enough that if they put in the work and we stay healthy and get some luck, you know, they can make it to the state finals, and that's our goal. I mean, we've got size, we've got quickness, we've got kids that can shoot. You know, so we've got a long season ahead of us, but you know, that's your ultimate goal is, you know, I mean, I think that's what every player plays for, it's what every coach plays for, is to make a run in that state tournament. And, you know, we have the pieces, so now it's just to put it together.
I think around here, if you're a coach, you put TEC championships probably goal number one, and you go.
Well, we have a thing in our locker room every year, and it's, you know, the number one goal. We break the season down into 3 parts. I hate to tell all this, but we break the season down in 3 parts. The only thing that's part one, and we break it, you know, is we have to win the Centerville game, because that's our only conference game before Christmas. So that's our number one goal for part one of the season. So, I mean, even though we're preparing right now, and you know, we're going to play a very good seeding team to open up with on Thanksgiving week, the Centerville game's the game that matters. So we're preparing for Centerville right now. And so then if we win that game, we check that off. Then the next one's the holiday tournament. Part two is the holiday tournament and county tournament. We want those 2 championships. And so, you know, that's our next 2, you know, we either meet those goals or you don't. And then part 3 is to win the conference, because the last 7 conference games are all right there week after week after week to finish the season. And we kind of set it up that way so that way every game matters from that point forward. And then, of course, the sectional, and then the regional. So we have it all listed and we check. And then at the end of the year, we kind of look and see, and then we talk about it, you know, at our banquet and celebrate what accomplishments we do meet. But that's kind of how we break down the season. And then, you know, as far as goals.
That's interesting. Mark, you got any questions for Sarah?
Yeah, and I know we talked about having a new kind of a starting 5, but what kind of identity should Knight fans kind of expect to see out of your Knight players this year?
Well, if I am not wrong, I believe this is the biggest team that Northeastern has had in at least the past 10 to 15 years.
They're long.
We are huge. That's something I'm really excited about, is to have those long arm presence on defense. We're going to be a little bit slower than usual, at least for the start, until I think people start finding their roles, finding what their jobs are supposed to be, and then I think by the time we hit that Triton Central holiday tournament, I think we're going to be hitting the ground running.
Good.
What do you got on your JV squad coming up, Sarah?
We're a little bit low on numbers, so truly we have like 4 true JV players,
Okay.
but everybody's going to be splitting time all over the place, unfortunately, for a lot of them, at least for the beginning half of the season. But second half, I mean, they're going to find where they're truly going to be playing at. And JV and varsity kids are going to have to be extremely conditioned to be able to finish out strongly during sectional time.
Well, we've got a question from our studio audience.
A vast studio audience. If you were here, you could see the crowd.
Yeah, when you can hear them. When they come in, we said, you know, fill out a little card, and we picked one, and it's from Tim. And Tim is for Coach Ross. He wants to know, you coach girls basketball and you coach boys basketball. What's the difference?
Well, I think, and I've been asked that question a lot over the years, and you know, I really think the biggest difference, and the numbers were really low when I took over, you know, there was 9 or 10 girls, and so I went and met with everyone that I wanted to come out with, and they want to know what they're working that hard for. And so they want to clear, boys will, just like right now, we got 9 freshmen that are in our conditioning, and I mean, we're running them to death, working them hard. They really don't even know why. They don't ask, they just do it. Girls want to know what they're working for. So when we do toughness drills, dive and tap, roll the ball out, Celtic drill, things like that, it's funny because they want to know, why are we doing it? Why am I getting bruises on my legs? And why do I have to wear knee pads and all that? And really it was because, I tell them, we're in a press and we got to be able to dive from behind and be behind, you got to sprint and you got to be in conditioning. Oh, okay. And they'll run through a wall for you. So I think, and I think Sarah probably is the same way. You get a lot of questions, a lot more questions because they want to understand. And I would say that, girls probably don't watch basketball on TV as much as boys, so they don't pick it up as much, so they have more questions. But in today's world, I'm not sure boys watch basketball as much as they used to because of social media. They're playing Fortnite or doing other things. Instead of watching college games. I mean, growing up, only thing we could do was watch Channel 2, 7, 12, and whatever was on.
You're aging yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I was a big Dayton Flyer fan because that was on Channel 7 3 nights a week. They were playing a college game.
That's
There
right.
wasn't nothing else to watch. So, you picked it up from there. So I think that's probably the biggest difference is, girls, they work just as hard and they're just as good, if not better, but they want to know why. They ask more questions.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we already spoke to, I think, the majority of our team this week about kind of where we see them at, and then we had the girls fill out cards. They put self goals, team goals, and then on the back side they kind of gave us a idea of where they think they're going to be contributing to the team this year, and that kind of gave us a better idea of, as coaches too, to kind of see if we need to bring kids back to reality or if they're right on target. And to be honest with you, all of the girls knew exactly what their job was, and I think that's a really mature thing for being such a young team. Is they had some really, really great points on their cards.
I want to jump on Tim's question here and flip it just a little bit. And this is just a simple yes or no. Have you ever thought about coaching boys basketball?
Nope.
Okay, see, you got it right here.
We could
Whew,
try
I don't have to worry about my
experiment for
job.
one
Her
game
record's a lot
year,
better than
they
mine.
could switch roles.
She's filled out her card. She knows her role.
yeah, her record's better than mine. I don't have to sweat it now.
Oh, well, this is good. We've had fun this morning here
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
And any other questions here before we wrap up?
I just want to wish both coaches good luck this season. I know how much you both care about not only your teams, but just the schools in general, and just wanting everybody to have a good experience and enjoy the teams and the kids that are out there representing Northeastern. So good luck to both of you. And
Appreciate it.
Same here.
Yeah.
Good luck to both of you guys. We'll be at all the games, with myteamlive.tv, and I tend to go to the away games too, just because I like to go.
Yeah.
And so, look, and I'm telling you guys out there, you be in the gym. When they're here, you be here. And cheer block, I'm calling you out right now. You fill the place right to the rafters. So basketball's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a tradition here in Indiana. And I thank both of you guys for showing up here
We
this
thank
morning.
you guys for putting
this
all
is
that.
fun.
Last year was great
Yep.
because of how hard it was to get people to the games or not having fans. So I heard nothing but positives from everybody about what you guys do. And so
I can remember the first day we actually had fans. It was fantastic.
Oh,
yes.
So, it was
it felt like a
absolutely,
brand new season.
yeah. So this year,
I'm not sure the Winchester game was 50% capacity.
Yeah, no, I think we overdid our limits on that one.
It was 49.9.
9%, that's right. There you
But-
go.
Health department.
That's coming from the AD.
I'm just telling you.
I think if we went to a few other venues, like if you went to the Shenandoah sectional, they
Oh,
were probably a little over that 50% threshold
Oh,
up there
yeah.
also.
So,
It's been great. Everybody's been here today, and I think we've had some good conversation. And these shows are only going to get better as we keep rolling on. Especially once we get the season going, we start talking about games and upcoming games and so forth. Join us again on this YouTube channel on the 9th as Knights of the Roundtable comes out on Tuesday on YouTube. Nightlines on Monday, which encompasses everything in the school.
Whatever's
So,
going on.
Whatever's going on, join Rick and me for that. So anyway, for Rick Fletcher and Mark Kerkhoff, Sara Mayo, Brent Ross, I'm Jerry Middleton, and you know what? It's been another good night.